So, Sandra, back here in Beijing, China, the Iran war looms large over the U.S.-China summit. Beijing's reluctance to pressure Tehran has frustrated the White House, and the president now saying the ceasefire is hanging on by just a thread.
Rejected a deal from Iran over the weekend. Can you tell us anything about that proposal?
It was just unacceptable. Iran has been defeated militarily, totally. They have a little left. They probably built up during this period of time. We'll knock that out in about a day. But I have a plan. You know what it is? A very simple plan. I don't know why you don't say it like it is. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
So there it is. U.S. Ambassador to China, David Perdue, with me now here in Beijing. And great to see you, Mr. Ambassador.
Great to see you, Bill. Welcome to Beijing.
Well, thank you, and thank you for making time for us. We were talking during the commercial. On Thursday, when the president's here, will mark your 1 year since your assignment here in Beijing. I'm certain that year has been fascinating. For those watching back home and around the world, what should the expectation be for the summit this week?
Well, first of all, this will be an historic visit by this president. He's the first United States president to be here since 2017, when he was the last president here. He and President Xi have already developed a strong, trusting relationship, and we're hoping that this meeting will continue that effort and strengthen that relationship. President Trump is on a mission, though, to develop a level playing field for our workers back home, our farmers, our ranchers, our businesses. And this is an ongoing conversation. We have Secretary Besson out here this week. So we think this is going to be a monumentally important meeting between these two great leaders.
Do you expect, and should we expect, anything to move forward with the war with Iran, given the visit here this week?
Well, this is an opportunity for China. I mean, we've opened the door for China to help us with Iran. They get 48% of their oil through the Straits of Hormuz. President Trump's been consistent in asking the Chinese to get involved and help us with that.
Should we expect that, however? China's going to say, it's your war. And President Trump could say, yeah, but it's your oil. What comes between the two?
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's their oil. They have every incentive to do this. They get a third of their oil from the Gulf states, only 15% from Iran, but they import 75% of their oil. They can't have this status quo for long. This strait needs to be open.
Let me read you something from the New York Times. Stunning headline here, and quite the quote. As Trump heads to Beijing, China is locked and loaded for a fight. Beijing signals that it's ready for a trade showdown, and it's building up a legal arsenal in preparation. How accurate is that, do you think?
Well, look, we know China has interest, and we do too. And we have seen what both of us can do last year. And this is where President Xi and President Trump's leadership really came to the fore, is they said, look, we're better than this. We can do this without damaging the rest of the world. It's not that we can put countermeasures on each other. We can damage the rest of the world. And these two leaders are here to try to listen to each other and develop a level playing field for everybody involved.
So in the meantime, you've got all these tech CEOs and the CEO from Boeing and a long list. There are 16 now who will be here. What does that say to China?
Well, it says we're united. I mean, it says that the business community is behind President Trump. These people want a level playing field. They're here to echo what President Trump is talking about. And we welcome them, and I think the Chinese do as well.
Will Taiwan be an issue in the following sense? There's a bill out there that should provide $14 billion in military assistance to Taipei. And just an hour ago, the president of Taiwan thanked the U.S. for its support. How much does that irk President Xi?
Well, at this point, you know, President Trump is doing exactly what every president's done since 1979. And what we are expecting, unlike Busan, where Taiwan did not come up, we're fully expecting Taiwan will come up as an issue. We will hear the Chinese out, but I don't anticipate President Trump making any major changes in our policy on Taiwan.
Busan happened in South Korea back toward the end of October. You mentioned the president's relationship with President Xi. Give me a little more insight into that.
Well, what people don't know.
How do these two men see? Go ahead.
Well, they respect each other, number one. They see themselves as titans of their world right now. President Xi has been in power since 2012, and he has a long-term plan. And what these two people are demonstrating is respect for each other. And I think that's a model for the rest of us in the interagencies in China's government as well as ours.
What would you consider to be a successful summit?
Bill, it's already a success. The fact that Donald Trump is coming out here, we have a commitment from President Xi to go to the United States this fall. They talk to each other regularly. These are people who have a personal and strong relationship. And I think that's what makes this a historic meeting, is that they're going to further that relationship, demonstrate to the world that we want to find peace and stability so we can find a way to live productively together.
You're giving me the impression that these are not necessarily great friends, but they might be good friends. Is that the way I should read this?
You come from a large family, right?
Yes, I do.
So, they're good friends and they're friends. And so we're building a relationship here based on trust. And we go through decades. There's a statistic. We had a Senate CODEL here last week, a congressional delegation. First one we've only had 3 since 2019. From 2011 to 2019, we had 57. Okay, so there's a big change, and we've got to correct that.
Just about 30 minutes ago, I mentioned that the last time I was in China, it was 30 years ago. The changes are remarkable.
Yeah.
Really just see what this country has done. What have you noticed just in 12 months?
Well, more is what I've noticed over the last 40 years. The U.S. allowed China into the WTO. We've opened up our markets. We basically invested a lot of capital. Foreign direct investment, however, right now is down 45% in the last 3 years. The biggest change that I see here is they really worked hard to clean the air up. They planted a lot of trees in the last decade, and the affluence here is to be seen. However, they still have some headwinds in their economy, and that's one thing that getting these trade talks underway and getting some of these things rationalized will help them as well.
Sir, I really appreciate your time, and I know a lot of people are curious about maybe the possibility of something happening on artificial intelligence. When I was out here yesterday and today, half the cars here are electric, half of them are gas powered. Where does the computer digital revolution affect the 1.4 billion Chinese?
Well, we're seeing another industrial revolution, an information revolution, a tech revolution. It's happening before our eyes and it's accelerating. We have engaged the Chinese at a working level. We want to continue to do that at the presidential level. We think there is common ground that we can work together to actually find common standards that we can help the rest of the world benefit from AI and not see it as a threat.
Well, it's 9:30 in the evening, and you said this is the first time you've sat down all day. So I take it you're working hard.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your time,
God
Mr.
bless you,
Ambassador.
Bill.
We'll see you throughout the week.
Thank you.
David Perdue, thank you. All right. Now, be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.